doing a Black movie night, and we are gonna get a chance to watch a Black-owned movie. Yes, we are. It's called B1 the movie, and it's a film that I'm going to tell you a lot about in a second. And we have, as you guys know, we've talked for a long time about the importance of us doing our own stuff, right? Making our own movies, controlling our own narratives, building institutions. And I'm gonna tell you what, I just got off the phone with Dr. Ken Harris, who runs the Black Business League, started by Booker T. Washington. And we were talking about some things we'd like to do in the Tuskegee area. They've connected hundreds of Black-owned businesses at the convention. They're going to be there. They're bringing 6 African presidents. They're doing lots of big stuff, and I'm gonna tell you, we got everything we need. We got all the juice we need to be whatever we want to be. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our special guest for tonight. Dr. Rick Matthysse is the creator of this amazing film called B1 the movie. And I want to ask Rick, how you doing today, man?
Man, it's the best day of my life. How you doing, Doc?
That's the best day of mine too. What a coincidence. So, give me tell us about your background. You've made some really good movies. You and I got to know each other when you made the first Black Friday movie. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's been over 10 years ago, Doc.
I know. Time goes by fast, ain't it?
I know. Yes, sir.
Well, man, it's crazy. You know, it's time goes by fast, and you can't waste it. And I'm gonna tell you, I was really impressed with that film. And how many Black Fridays did you make? Was it part 1 and part 2, or did you do a part 3?
It was 3. So we did Black Friday the Remix, and Black Friday Part 2, the Living Legacy World Tour.
Ah, okay, nice. And so B1 the movie. First off, I want everybody to know that the segment we're going to show tonight, I invited you because you're on a special list. We did not invite the general public because Rick has been screening the film around the world, and I don't want to disrupt that process. I'd rather, I said, I just asked Rick as a favor, can we show it to some of our special students in the Black Business School, the people that support what we're doing, and that's why you got an invitation. I just want you all to know that we did not invite everybody. We could have thousands of people in here. We don't want that. We wanted the right people, and so Rick, you with this film, I don't remember which came first, the chicken or the egg. I remember you coming to me and pitching the idea of doing a film together. But did we even have the concept at that time, or did we just agree that we were going to work on something?
No, we didn't have the concept. Actually, you called me and said, "Hey, I want to produce B1, the documentary, and we don't know if you were interested." And I was like, "Man, I would love to." And that's how the conversation was started.
Wow. And so so here we are years later. What year was that you came and pitched? It was before the pandemic, I think,
Yeah,
right?
it was before the pandemic, and we actually started working on B1 right after the pandemic.
Okay. All right. So okay. So we started working. So we were working on it during what was the release date of the film? Like, when did we actually say like it was wrapped and done and all that stuff?
So the release date was, oddly enough, Marcus Garvey's birthday, 2023. It was August 17th. We did like a 4-day event here in Atlanta at the New Black Wall Street. And it was the weekend of Marcus Garvey's birthday.
Okay. So would you say Marcus Garvey is like your primary inspiration in terms of what your thinking was as you developed the film? Did anybody else come to mind?
Yeah, it was definitely Marcus Garvey. I mean, there were, a few people, Patrice Lumumba, Medgar Evers, it's a host of people, man, that have really stood 10 toes down with putting black first, and that's really, what this is about. To formally introduce myself, my name is Dr. Rick Matthysse. I'm a filmmaker from the west side of Atlanta. Now, for my bougie people, that's Cascade Road. For my educated gangsters, that's Adamsville. And for all my freedom fighters, that's West End. As Abraham Lincoln once said, all that I am and all that I ever will become, I owe to my mother. So in the spirit of Miss Gwendolyn Lewis, I say Ashe, 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 oh.
All right. Shada Miss Lewis. So,
Yes.
okay, so your mother was a big inspiration. As a lot of folks in here know about my mother, Robin, as well.
Yeah.
She was passed at Christmas Eve.
Yeah. My
So tell me
condolences.
about your mother, Gwendolyn Lewis. What kind
Man,
of person?
oddly enough, man, we started working on this film during her last days. She was in an assisted living home because she needed 24-hour service. And, you know, this was what I poured my energy into, that pain from losing your mom. And if you
Mm,
haven't lost your mom, you don't know that pain. I know, Boyce, you've just experienced it. And that's a pain that you can't put in words. You know what I'm saying? I
mm.
just had a close friend lose her mom, and, we'll travel, oddly enough, to Kentucky, to your hometown on Tuesday for the services. But
Wow.
if you haven't experienced it, it's like somebody knocks the wind out of you, and you have all of these emotions that
Mhm.
are unexplainable. So what I did is I took that pain because I believe that you have to turn that pain into purpose. Because on the other side of pain, there's success and there's a win that can't be explained. Since my
Mm.
mother transitioned, you know, because what you now have received is you've received an ancestor on the other side that's working directly for you. You know what I'm saying? So since my mom transitioned, I received the doctorate, the honorary doctorate, and guess where I received it? Now this story, I'm gonna just share this story real quick. So my mother's last name was Lewis, Gwen Lewis. One of her favorite artists is Tony Terry. Her favorite song is "When I'm With You" by Tony Terry. So now
Mm.
this is the beautiful picture of the beautiful story. So I fly to St. Louis to receive this honorary doctorate, right? When I get to the airport, one of the guys who's hosting that's presenting me the doctorate say, "Hey man, I didn't know you were coming in at this time. If you wait a minute, you can ride on the Sprinter with us to the hotel. I'm picking up Muhammad Ali Jr., Melba Moore. I don't know if y'all know Melba Moore. Y'all might be a little too young to know Melba Moore. And Tony Terry." And so I'm like, what? Tony Terry is getting, so these are people that I'm getting my doctorate with, right? So I'm like, wow, I didn't know Tony Terry was a part of this group. So I'm like, man, if this happened, this is just amazing. To be one in St. Louis, my mother's last name is Lewis, to meet one of her favorite singers, Tony Terry, and to hear that song, "When I'm With You," playing. So I said, man, is this going to really happen? So I'm waiting, he's like, wait, their flight should be coming in a minute. Surely enough, here come Tony Terry, Muhammad Ali Jr., Melba Moore down at baggage claim where we were. And so at this point, I'm just like, wow, this is actually happening. So I'm still kind of
Wow.
like in shock. And so when we get on the Sprinter, I'm sitting there and he's behind me talking. I think Melba Moore was in the front and Muhammad Ali Jr. was to like the left of me. But he was behind me talking, man, and I'm literally about to bawl in tears because I'm in St. Louis receiving a doctorate with Tony Terry, hearing the song "When I'm With You," one of my mom's
Mm.
favorite songs. So,
Wow.
so things like that actually happen. Another quick story is I got a proclamation from the city of Atlanta, Fulton County Arts. My birthday is November 7th. November the 1st is officially Rick Matthysse Day in Atlanta. So I got the proclamation on November the 1st. So that was mom saying, "Happy birthday, son."
Well, congratulations to you, man. That's really
Yeah.
awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And let's talk about the film. So you brought a segment of the film that you wanted to show, and it was kind of like the first 11 minutes of the film, right?
Yes.
And there's a website. Is it b1themovie.com or is it
B
B1 the Experience?
B1 the Experience. Go to b1theexperience.com.
And that's B the number one,
B1 the
b1theexperience.com.
Experience. Yeah, I put it in the chat here. B1 the experience.
Okay.
.com.
And you and what I'm gonna do is just I say we just get right to it. I know folks came to see the film, and I can say this: my vision behind the film in terms of what I was seeing, but you're the visionary. I had a vision, but it wasn't the relevant vision for this. I give you full credit for doing everything filmmaking related. I wrote a couple checks or something, but for the most part, it was you did the thing, and I thought about the fact that that we need to make our own films. That was really my driving motivation, and I also thought about the fact that we need to craft our own heroes. We need to craft our own celebrities. We need to pick who's going to be famous in our community, who's not. And the reason we're not showing the entire film is because I'd like for you to show respect to the filmmaker, and if there, I think there might be a fee attached to something or a way to watch the whole film, but I'd like for you to watch it on his website. So that's why. So I asked him to let us show a segment of it here, and if you'd like to see the rest, it would be available. And I think Rick may have plans to put it on other platforms. I'm completely allowing Rick to decide how to proceed with that. And so because I think that too often we get people just tell us who our heroes are supposed to be. They tell us who our black leaders are going to be. They put these civil rights superstars in front of us. Some of them do good work without a doubt, but some of us lead us down the wrong path. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was talking to Dr. Ken Harris, who we're partnering with the All Black National Convention, who runs the Black Business League, and he's a Booker T. Washington guy, and he believes, and I agree with him, that we've been misled for about 60 years to pure integrationism as a pathway for economic prosperity. That we've been led to believe that that other people are going to give us our financial security, that they're going to give us the opportunities that we need to reach our fullest potential. And now you see it crumbling all around us. You see DEI going out the window. Now a whole bunch of people are scrambling and struggling and scared to death. Government jobs gone. A lot of companies are just literally flat out dumping their DEI programs. This is a very scary time for a lot of people, but there are people like Dr. Claude Anderson who did not get the attention he deserved, who were warning us the entire time about like this is what happens when you don't have any form of economic self-sufficiency. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I'll quote one of the cast members that's in the film. So Dr. George Fraser says, oftentimes people don't move when they see the light. They move when they feel the heat. So right now, black people are starting to feel the heat. With Donald Trump in office, the fire is being turned up. And now the things that we've been preaching and talking about work together, get on code. You see me wearing the shirt here, what it means to be on code. Get on code like we talk about in this film, B1, the movie. That's what it's about. It's about being on code. What does being on code
Wait,
mean?
wait. So let me interrupt you. So being on code.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me give me like one sentence. If to be on code, what does that look like for you?
Okay, so I'm going to give you the definition first because I have it on my shirt. It says being on code means being sensitive to what the black society needs to survive and thrive, and putting those needs first and foremost before one's personal needs. Now, let's process that. Let's unpack that. What does that mean? That means, if we take today, for example, there was this blackout on February the 28th where they said, we're not going to buy anything from major corporations. We're going to funnel that money to small businesses. How many people supported a black-owned business today? Put it in the chat and put what black-owned business you supported. Because I believe in solutions. So being on code means we understand that as a group, Dr. Claude Anderson says this best. We're all born on a team, and if we don't play for the team that we're born on, our team loses by default. So we have to play for the team that we're born on. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much money you make, you still black. You know what I'm saying? So you can't switch and be on another team, somebody else's team, because you've made X amount of dollars. And that's where we are right now. We're in a place where we have to play for the team that we're born on. So that's what it means to be on code. It means playing for the team that you're born on, because you're not going to put someone else's kids before your kids, right, Doc?
Right.
You're going to put your kids first. And that's what B1 means. It simply means putting black first. You were born black. You know, when I was a kid born in Valdosta, Georgia, I used to hear this guy come on the radio named Herman Smith every Sunday. And he always used to end by saying, remember to be proud of your blackness. And when he used to say that, he used to just be something that go through me, right? So I was born in Valdosta, and in Valdosta, it was all white police chief. It was a white mayor. It's a white fire chief, right? So I'm born in a small town where all white people are in control and in charge. The schools there were named after white folks. So at age 14, my mom moved us to Atlanta. That was the best thing she could have done for me. Because when she moved me to Atlanta, I went to Frederick Douglass High School. So I moved to a black city with a school that's named after black folks that look like me, with a black fire chief, a black police chief, a black mayor. So I went from all white to all black. What that did for me is that boost my self-esteem. What that did for me is that gave me the green light to now really be proud of my blackness that Herman Smith would oftentimes say on Sunday morning on the radio, because you know I'm born in the Bible Belt. So every Sunday morning everybody listened to WGOV was the radio station. It was the Sunday gospel show. And so moving to Atlanta, man, it was a total like a culture shock, man. And it was like an injection that was given to me to really be proud of my blackness. And from that standpoint, I was like, I got to be unapologetically black. I got to put black first. Me not knowing it then, but that's what I was doing. Because one, I was proud of my blackness. And two, I wanted to support black people and see black people win. Just like you, Doc. You want to see black people win in media and music, but win with the right movies, with the right music, the music that uplifts us. You know what I'm saying? I was just listening to Willie Hutch. I don't know if y'all know about Willie Hutch. You know about Willie Hutch, Doc?
I do not. I've never heard of Willie Hutch.
So Willie Hutch made this record back in the day called Brother's Gonna Work It Out. You ever heard that song? Brother's Gonna Work It Out?
I have heard that song, yes.
That's Willie Hutch. If y'all hadn't heard that song, go listen to it. It's a perfect song for the season that we're in.
Okay,
right now.
so let's not talk about just songs though.
Yeah.
I want to talk about
the film.
Like power.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about. Like, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
We sing and dance a lot. We march, we rally, we talk. We've been saying it loud. I'm black and I'm proud since 1968. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of that shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice. It feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, how proud can you be when 95% of your population got to go bow to a white man to pay the bills, right? And when you're really talking, I mean, for real, maybe I'm in a funny mood today, man. But I got to be honest with you, bro. You know, when I saw the boycott, I was very happy to see the boycott. But a big part of me just sat back in my chair and said, so you need Donald Trump to get into office for your black ass to wake up. If Joe Biden was in office, y'all be shopping at Target and Walmart and wherever Al Sharpton is getting his partner payments from and wouldn't say a damn word. Y'all wasn't. And here's the thing about the boycott. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to sound real radical right now. I'm going to make some people mad. Mm-hmm. To hell with boycotting today or even once a week or anything like that. We should boycott them as much as they boycott us. Don't nobody support black businesses. They boycott y'all 365 days a year consistently and have been doing this for years. So I think, man, is that I think that it's to the point where some of us still we looking for the little, the little black power training wheels. And some of us are like, no, I want to get in a Porsche right now. I need to be on a jet airplane to freedom, because the way we've been doing it is wrong. We leave ourselves vulnerable, and then we get outraged when somebody exploits the vulnerability, right? So I really think, man, like when I think about this boycott, right, and I think about this movie, I like the movie, man, because I just like the fact that I like the idea of us shaping the narrative. I like the idea of us being so preoccupied with what we doing that we ain't even worried about what he's over doing. You know, and I think that what's happening right now is, and my heart goes out to anybody that's being affected by the job losses and the DEI. I mean, it's kind of a shell shock, right?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think from the very beginning, even when, and I think it was because it was on my mind because I was talking to somebody, Dr. Harris, about Booker T versus Du Bois. Du Bois spent his whole life kind of basically crapping all over Booker T's ideas, hating on Marcus Garvey and all that. And then at the end, the very same institutions that Du Bois loved so much betrayed him too. It's so at the end of the day, we in the same boat. And I think that when you even talk about integration, people think I'm anti-integration or that I believe in segregation. No, I'm not saying that. Integration is fine. It just has to be done under appropriate terms. Even Booker T was, to some extent, an integrationist in this sense. He said, look, I'm not running away from white folks. I want to be involved with them, but I want to step to them as partners, not as a subordinate. Right? And what's happened is that we integrated as subordinates. We integrated like we showed up looking for a job. Sir, give me an opportunity. Let me come and work in your institution, instead of saying, you got a business, I got a business. Now let's get together and do business. Let's meet as equals. Instead, we up here looking like, did you see where Donald Trump was yelling at Volodymyr Zelensky today?
I know he put him. I heard he put him out and he gave the press his food.
Yeah, he was punking him. He was punking him, right? I don't want us to be the
That's
little
crazy.
Zelenskys. I want us to have the power. I want us to be able to at least and power. What does power look like? Power really means that you have the ability to walk away from the negotiating table and know that you're going to be okay. Right. And I think that to your point, and I didn't mean to interrupt what you were saying. I heard what you were saying, and I appreciate all of it.
Definitely.
And it's great. It's just more like, when are we going to get tired of this? You
Yeah.
know? So I think this boycott is great. I applaud, participation. I think everybody should participate. But man, as far as I'm concerned, in fact, not only should you boycott other businesses every day of the year, but you should be so focused on what you're doing that you don't even have to. You don't even take the time to realize you're boycotting other things. Like when I'm spending time on my business with my family, working on my stuff, I'm not boycotting your stuff. I just putting so much energy into my stuff. I ain't even got time to think about your stuff, right? So I think that generally this is where we got to go. We need a wake up call, man. And I think your film did a great job with that. I think the messaging in the film was amazing. You got your Dr. Frazier up in there. D1 was in there.
Dr. Claude
Brother
Anderson.
Nuri Muhammad, Rizza Islam. I mean, we had an all-star cast in here. I think it was even a segment where even old Jay Morrison was in there too with the Tulsa thing. I gotta be honest with that. Sorry, Jay, I love you, man, but that Tulsa thing didn't work out. But guess what? In the world of business, sometimes things go wrong, but you keep on moving forward. You figure it out, you rebuild, and you keep moving. And so with that said, I'm going to let you get the last word, man. What am I going to see in the next 11 minutes? I don't even know what clip you're going to show. What we got? What you got in store for us?
So with this episode, so this is episode 1. This is the opening episode. And, hopefully, we can show the other episodes at different periods, moving throughout, because again, there will be blackouts, there will be boycotts and all of that. So now you got black folks' attention. You know what I'm saying? And they're tuned into this channel, But the thing that I say is with this whole boycott, because somebody asked me today, they were like, so did you participate in the boycott? And, how was it? And I said, I don't need a boycott. This is my lifestyle. My lifestyle is to support black-owned businesses on a daily. I feel bad when I have to give another business or a corporation my dollars. Every day I'm looking for a black-owned business to circle those dollars around in the community. So this isn't just about one day. This is about a lifestyle, creating a lifestyle where you do this 24/7, 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this film, it'll open with Dr. Frazier having a voiceover talking about, it'll take 228 years for black people to amass the same wealth as white people. Because this was added to the film during the whole presidential election, because a lot of people were saying, hey, and I'm not, downgrading or degrading anybody who voted for whoever they voted for, right? But what I was saying is, I voted, now what? So after you vote, if your person gets in office or your person doesn't get in office, what are you going to do to ensure that you are the president of your household and to ensure that your family has food, clothing, and shelter, and that you're leaving a legacy? You're passing down a legacy. So that's what this film talks about, or this episode. So it talks about that, and then it talks about legacy, and it talks about, the ancestors, what they laid, the foundation that they laid for us, the sacrifices that they laid for us. You know what I'm saying? I love my mother dearly, but she didn't pass anything down. I had to start from zero, like a lot of us here. So my goal when I have kids is to leave a legacy so they don't have to start from zero. Other races don't have to start from zero. They have a legacy. They have land. They have a trust. They have money that's passed down so they can step right into. So that's what this opening film is about. It's about paying homage to the ancestors, but really, what does it mean to get on code? So, Doc, if you're ready, I can share my screen.
I've given
let's
you sharing permissions. You should be
Okay, I'm
good.
sharing the
And also,
sound.
anybody who's watching on YouTube, I'm gonna give you guys the link to come into the Zoom, and you can watch the film. We're not gonna show this on YouTube. So here is the link. It's right there in the chat. And so click on that link. You can come into the private Zoom, and I'm gonna shut that off in a second. So without further ado, I'm gonna let Rick do his thing, and I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. All right.
All right, so this is episode 1 of B1, the movie. It's actually a series that you can watch in increments. People's attention span now is really short. So short form content is really becoming more and more popular and it's trending. So that's what this is. So this is the first episode of B1, the movie.
I'm Dr. George C. Fraser. Did you know that it will take 228 years for black families to amass the same wealth as white families? This striking reality is a fundamental truth we must address, regardless of who the president is. If we don't get on code and put black people first, we will always remain at the bottom of America's agenda forever. This is a conversation about being on code. What does it mean to be on code and put black first? Being on code means being sensitive to what the group needs to survive and thrive, and putting those needs first and foremost before one's personal needs. It's our birthright to have prosperity, but if we can't get on code, we sentence our unborn seeds to a continued life of servitude. It's time we vote with our dollars and buy the candidate that supports a black agenda. And we must hold their feet to the fire. This podcast is a rally cry for our community to prioritize our people, our progress, and our prosperity. We're all we got, but we're all we need. For years, despite our sacrifices and contributions to build America, we remain at the bottom of most economic categories. This isn't about race. It's about righting a wrong that we've endured over 400 years. This 6-part series will explore powerful stories, actionable strategies, and inspiring movements designed to uplift and empower our community. It's more than just a podcast. It's a movement inspired by B1, the movie, which features a custom curriculum that you can share with your family and friends. Together, we can redefine our future and ensure that we remain at the top of our agenda. Join us on this journey to transform Black empowerment from a dream into a reality. Let's get on code and put Black first, now and forever. It's time to be one. You must become the president of your own household. I'm Dr. George C. Fraser.
What is it going to take for Black people to establish a code of conduct that puts Black people first?
No Chinese person, no Latino, no Arab, no Jew, no white man has ever had to be asked such a question.
The first thing that we have to have is a code, and that code has to be a patronymic code because we are Black. And if we look at the Constitution, that is a patronymic code that we can follow, but not actually use because that's someone else's code of conduct and code of building wealth and prosperity that is able to be passed through heirship for generations and for perpetuity.
But 99% of all the Blacks in the country, whether they got an education from college or not, they don't know what the Constitution is all about. The Constitution was the first affirmative action plan in the United States, and it was written strictly and solely for white folk. That's why in the Constitution, 1 up to 12 is for white people. In those 12 amendments, you'll hear him talking about, he'll be talking about things like using very broad and ambiguous terms so that Black folk can never figure out what the Constitution was about.
If Black people put Black people first, then we will take the planet back. That's the fact.
We have already survived the Middle Passage. We have survived the crack epidemic. We have survived mass incarceration. We have survived all type of experiments. And here we are still standing. Being Black is being resilient. That is the code. It's embedded in our DNA.
Like that's the blood that's in your veins. When you know that, and you know Mansa Musa was the richest person ever. When you understand that, and you understand where you come from, and you understand that anything is possible, you will understand that abundance is your birthright, right? Stop resisting you're resisting your greatness. Stop resisting your greatness. You great. And once you understand that, and you understand your greatness, right? I am greatness on display.
We are, in some ways, slumbering giants that are waking up to ourselves, waking up to our greatness, waking up to our power, waking up to what we are here to do. But I'm here to tell you that there's more inside of you and that there's something in you that's ready to come out for the world. And when it does, the world will never be the same. You are the answer to someone's prayer.
So this is the rise to wake up to our power. We're not just empowering anybody by being who we are. The whole world needs Black power. And as long as Black power is suffering, then everybody gonna be suffering. They think they're gonna steal from us, rob from us, beat us down, chain us, and that they not gonna suffer from that.
You gotta push forward for the sake of the ancestors who did it for you, and they couldn't even see what the future could possibly be.
What you gotta remember is that when your mother and father gave birth to you, they gave birth to themselves. And when your grandparents gave birth to your mother and father, they gave birth to themselves. And when your great parents gave birth to your grandparents, they gave birth to themselves.
In order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents.
The way you bring it out of yourself is to learn how to remember.
64 fourth great-grandparents, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,048. For you to be born today from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years.
So you, the individual, is the combination of millions of ancestors, millions of ideas, millions of concepts, millions of thoughts, all embedded in your DNA, in your cell.
Think for a moment. How many struggles, how many battles, how many difficulties, how much sadness, how much happiness, how many love stories, how many expressions of hope for the future did your ancestors have to undergo for you to exist in this present moment?
The way you bring it out of yourself is to learn how to remember. And one of the ways to learn how to remember is to have an ancestral altar where you go and have conversation with that part of you that lived yesterday. Because those ancestors, that was you yesterday. Your children, that is you tomorrow.
This film is dedicated to our ancestors, and a special dedication to my mom, Miss Gwendolyn Lewis, who made a transition during the production of this film. Mom, I love you. I'm putting black first for you, Mom. Shout out to Jason Black.
A couple here that met on their way down to speed dating last year.
So I just have to say that it's just so good to see so many Black people in one room that's looking for Black love. And I just want to tell you, just to keep the faith.
To put Black people first, we got to give love a chance.
One thing I told Keisha at the B1 ball last year is that destiny doesn't ask permission. So if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
It's going to take Black love at a deeper level. It's going to take long-term, sustainable, invested Black love.
I was looking for love again. I wasn't really sure if I would find it. And I came to the All Black National Convention last year, and I found the love of my life.
Someone asked me about it 6 months ago. Dr. Fraser, what has happened to Black people? I said, I want to say the next thing and still be loved, everybody. But I'll keep it simple. We changed when our music changed. Two generations ago, when we started calling ourselves niggas, bitches, and hoes, we changed.
B1, that's the first episode, people. What do y'all think in the chat?
B1, right on. It's so funny when you were when you had Dr. Fraser on the screen. I was looking at my phone. It kind of ended abruptly. I was looking at my phone and I was actually texting Dr. Fraser because I said, hey man, I got to bring you into Money in the Morning. So Dr. Fraser, I just sent him an invitation because we hadn't talked for a little bit. But great job, man. I love the just that push of us really hearing those voices that we need to hear from our own people. And I know we have a lot of voices from a lot of different areas. You have the intellectuals. We hear from some of the hip hop artists. Speech from Arrested Development really impressed me. I really like him a lot. You got to text me his information, man, because I want to bring him in. I don't know if everybody. I know y'all know the song Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. Lord,
and everyday
I really
people.
I want to make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. I love him. I love that documentary. He made a documentary called The Nigga Factory. And it was amazing. And it was in alignment with my thinking for sure. Because, you know, what you see in the world is manufactured, right? It's like that thug culture, that ignorant culture, all the stuff that doesn't help us succeed, that's manufactured. So we have to counter that by manufacturing the culture that we want to see. I think we got to manufacture B1 culture. We got to manufacture Black pride. We have to manufacture Black excellence. We have to manufacture Black wealth. And that requires an intentional effort. And I felt like this film was just a great part of that. Can you kind of speak to just how you felt sort of watching it on the screen? I know you've seen all this a million times. What's going through your mind?
I mean, every time I watch it, man, it's a different feeling. It's a real feeling that I get. And, you know, I just want people to see it, man. I know, you know, we have this right here. So this is a DVD, and it is a DVD. I know you're like, we don't have DVD players, but we thought it out for you. You see those QR codes? So you scan those QR codes and you watch the movie digital. But what I wanted to do is give people that experience that we had coming up. And also, I wanted it to be a product that is passed down and lasts forever. Because if the internet goes out or they decide to delete everything B1 that's on this digital platform, you'll still have a tangible product that you can still watch that comes with, one, the movie, and then two, the soundtrack. So speaking of that, Speech was kind enough to allow us to feature some of his music in the film and be included in the soundtrack. So we have music from Speech in this soundtrack. We have some, you know, some amazing songs. We got a brother by the name of Carmichael who has #1 albums in London on their charts with Earth, Wind, and Fire and all of these type of artists, because over there they respect real music and people singing about love. It's not all of this foolishness that's praised and sung about over here in America. So this is the DVD that can be purchased on B1 The Experience, along with the curriculum, because at the end of the day, let's see if you can see it. There you go.
Everything's transparent. There we go.
Yeah, it's transparent. You can see it a little bit. But the thing that we wanted to do, I know why you couldn't see it, because of the cover. Let's try it again. There you go. But the thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to create a workbook, a guide. So when you watch this film, you don't just get excited and say, oh, that was a great film. We want actual application. Like there's exercises in this film. I don't know if you noticed, but there are QR codes in the film. So the QR codes in the film go with the exercises in the book. So as you're watching the film, you can pause the film, scan the QR code, and it'll take you to that exercise in the book.
Okay, so let me give everybody the website. If you want the QR code and you want to know about the curriculum, things like that, you can go to b1theexperience.com. That's b1theexperience.com. And you can get access to everything and watch the film and everything else. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, I think, Rick, that this film was, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I like hearing from intelligent Black people who are not scared to be Black, who understand that we got to make some adjustments, right? They see the issue, but they see the opportunity that comes with the fact that, number one, we have a job to do. We have several jobs to do. If anybody wants to know what your Black job is, here's your Black job, in my opinion, the humble opinion of Boyce Watkins. Number one, your Black job is we must get our mental health together. We got to heal. The trauma is out of control. It's causing us to just act crazy toward each other, and we're infecting each other like a zombie virus with this trauma. right? Like that, like that video of those people fighting at the Spirit Airlines ticket counter. It's a big fight with 40 people. All of them about to get on a Carnival cruise at the Spirit Airlines counter. So we got to heal our mental health. Mm-hmm. 2, we got to deal with our physical health. Too many things are killing us too early. I know you got a new film related to that, and I'm gonna bring that up for sure. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is healing our families. Black love must be healed. Black love must be fixed. That's the 3rd part of your Black job. We got to love each other, build healthy relationships. Y'all know about this. We talk about this in Money in the Morning. And then your 4th Black job is you got to get your money right. You get your mind right, your body right, and your money right, and then your life will be right. We make economic plans. We become economic masters of our own destiny. See, what you got to understand, everybody, and I need y'all to realize this, is that you have $1 trillion worth of opportunities out here in this world if you can train yourself to see them. As a community, we have trillions of dollars buried under the ground that will emerge and make itself seen when our economic vision starts to grow. And so to do that, we've got to train that vision. And it's hard to have a vision if you're distracted, or if you're afraid, or if you are all caught up in nonsense, right? Or as my grandma used to call it, foolishness, right? We got to get our mind right. We get our mind right, we will see these opportunities. That's what's going to make us great. And I know that this is out there for us, and that's what I think we should all work for. That's our Black job. So Rick, you can tell me what you think about what I said, but also you mentioned you have a project. Is it called Heartbeat?
Yes, Heartbeat.
That you're working on?
Yeah, Heartbeat docu-series.
Tell us about that project too.
Man, so about 70 days ago, I experienced what's called the Widowmaker. Now, I didn't know what the Widowmaker was prior to experiencing it. But if we have any medical people on tonight, you know what the Widowmaker is. So the Widowmaker is a heart attack that only 12% of people survive. So yes, about 70 days ago, I experienced a heart attack. Didn't know what it was. I thought I had food poison. I thought I had got food poison, right? Because the experience happened, and I call it an experience because it indeed was an experience for me. The day before Thanksgiving, I went and got some Chinese food because I don't eat Chinese food. I keep my dollars in the Black community. But I was out of town, it was late, and it was one of the only things that were open, right? So I was like, man, I just got in town, I'm starving, I'm gonna just get this. When actually I probably should have just drunk some water and went to sleep. But I did that. I woke up the next morning, which was Thanksgiving. The room was spinning. My body was aching. My head was aching. I felt nauseated. And then I started vomiting. So I'm thinking, man, I ate some MSG stuff that I typically don't eat. So my body is reacting to it. I've been vegetarian for 25 years. That's what I was thinking. So I stayed in the hotel. I didn't do any activities. Thursday, Friday, just trying to get some rest, get some fluids in my body, and kind of allow my body to recuperate. So I came back to Atlanta on Saturday. I rested all day Sunday, went and did a drone shoot Monday. And after that, I was like, wow, I'm tired. But never once did I have any chest pain, none of that, right? I just kind of felt sluggish. And so I laid down Monday night, and I woke up about 4 a.m. My right foot was totally numb. And so I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? So I'm still thinking dehydration, food poison. So I got up, I walked around the house trying to get circulation in my foot. Nothing was happening. I went and soaked my foot in Epsom salt. Nothing was happening. I tried to get my doctor on the phone. By now it's about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So of course nobody's in the office. And so at this time I said, okay, we got to go to the hospital. So oddly enough, I went to Piedmont Hospital, the same hospital that saved Jamie Foxx, when he had his stroke here in Atlanta. But when I went there, I hopped in and I said, hey, I think I'm just dehydrated and I need some fluids. My right foot is numb. So immediately they said, okay, we're going to take you back and do an x-ray. They took me back. They x-rayed my chest. I went and sat in the lobby in the emergency room. It couldn't have been no more than 3 to 4 minutes. 2 doctors come rushing out to me. And as they're taking me in the back, I hear over the intercom, cold STEMI patient Matthysse. So I'm looking around again, not knowing anything about heart disease. And heart disease is the #1 killer in the U.S. The #1 killer. So not knowing anything about it, I'm like, what is cold STEMI? I say, well, it must be something serious. They saying it over the loudspeaker. And, you know, I'm still feeling fine, but only my right foot, and now it's like up to my leg, is numb. It felt like 1,000 pins was in my leg. So as I get in the room in the back, now it's about 7, 8 doctors around, and they were like, you just experienced what's called the Widowmaker. Now, let me explain what the Widowmaker is. The Widowmaker is when 90 to 100% of your main artery is blocked. This is the artery that gives 80% of blood flow and oxygen to your body. That's why it's called the Widowmaker, because it typically makes your wife a widow.
Right.
So, and if you're a husband, you know, it make you a widow too. A male can be a widow as well. But so from there, man, I spent 3 days in ICU and 5 days in a regular room. And while I was in the hospital, I said, man, this is something that we need to bring more awareness to, because like you said, our black job is #1, our health. And black people, we have to take good care of our health. If I had not been running and not eating right, I probably wouldn't be here today. So the fact that I was running and I was eating right, my body, get this, people, my body grew different pathways to get blood flow and oxygen throughout the rest of my body. So my body started growing different pathways to get blood flow and oxygen throughout my body. That was the most mind-blowing thing that I heard from the doctor throughout this whole experience. I was like, what? Like that, like the body is amazing. And black people, we are amazing. We are slumbering giants, like Ona said in the film. And we need to wake up to our greatness, wake up to our power. But part of that is taking care of your health, becoming in tune with your body, knowing when your body is telling you something wrong, knowing when you go eat that fried chicken and then you get sluggish and tired and you're like, oh, Lord, I shouldn't have ate that. You know what I'm saying? That's your body saying, no, I don't want that. I don't want to process that. You know what I'm saying? So throughout that experience, it caused me to produce this series that we're working on now called Heartbeat, the docuseries.com. No, heartbeatdocuseries.com is the website. Heartbeatdocuseries.com, that's the website, and I'll put it in the chat. But man, we have a black cardiologist that's in the film, and he's doing some amazing stuff with AI. We have Les Brown, who's in the film. Many of you may not know, but Les Brown is living with 6 stents in his heart right now. And been living with that for probably, I think he said 20 or 30 years, but it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm thankful because when you look at me, I don't look like what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? I just experienced this about 70 days ago. I didn't receive a stent in my heart. You know, they didn't have to crack me open. None of that. So it's really a blessing that that I went through that experience and I didn't experience, you know, what a lot of people experience. So the thing that I want to share with that point right there, and it goes back to, it ties all in with where we are now, putting black first with the whole B1, right? And I want to share the ending of, I want to read the ending of Heartbeat docuseries. Because black people, if we never needed each other, we need each other now. I know we're not going to get everybody on board on the same page, but let's, you know, at least get in the same book. And let's group with at least 5 to 10 like-minded people and start working in groups so that if something happens, you know what I'm saying, then you can connect with those 5 to 10 people and y'all can work together to help each other. You know, y'all can start investment clubs, investment groups, you know, participate in, you know, Boyce Watkins Business School, the Black Business School, you know what I'm saying, as a group. So you can learn that information and then go back in your silos and then dissect it and say, okay, yeah, I understand this, but I need to understand this a little bit better. So that's the thing that we have to start doing, is working together as a team. We're not gonna get everybody on the same page, but start with a few people. Then that has been my goal for the past 3 to 4 years, is just really to start working more as a group. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to break a finger, but it's hard to break a fist. So when you unite together and start working together, then you're gonna be more powerful. So that's the thing, like with the film, Heartbeat docuseries. I want to share this. This is the ending of the film, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not medicine and exercise that heals you. It's the love of Black people, the love of your family, the love of your friends, you know, calling, checking on you, saying, hey, man, I saw you just experienced that. I want to, you know, come in and just lay eyes on you and make sure you're okay. So, man, when I experienced that, something just touched me. I wrote this. This is how Heartbeat docuseries is going to end. It says, healing from heart disease requires more than medicine and exercise. It requires a circle of love. It's having people around you that love you unconditionally. It's the kind of love that shows up in the darkest hour when you feel like giving up. It's the kind of love that holds you tight when you're flat on your back in ICU. It's that kind of love doctors and medical staff give to nurse you back to health. True love and true healing demands a circle of love, a type of love that, if I'm being honest, most people just aren't willing to give. It's that friend, that brother that calls to check on you daily just to make sure you're in a good headspace. It's that child who looks up at you with big, bright, innocent eyes and sees their hero. It's that spouse who stays up all night watching your chest rise and fall just to make sure you're still breathing. When you have people who love you simply for who you are, it changes everything. Their love becomes the anchor that holds you steady when the storm feels unbearable. They are the reason you find the courage to fight, the faith to believe, and the strength to keep moving. They remind you in moments you forget that life is precious, not because of what you've done or what you can offer, but simply because they love you. True healing begins in the arms of these people, the one who stays when others leave, the ones who stand by you when you're too weak to stand alone. These are the healers, the people who not only help mend your body, but also repair the deep, invisible wounds left by those who turned and walked away. They show you that healing isn't about surviving an illness. It's about reclaiming your sense of worth and rebuilding your circle with people who see you, love you, and refuse to let you face life alone. If you are surrounded by even one of these people who loves you with this kind of fierce, unconditional love, hold on to them tightly, because in the end, it's not just medicine. It's the miracle of love, true, unwavering, soul-deep love. And that, my friend, is the kind of love that keeps my heart ticking. That's Black love, people. And that's what we need right now, Doc. We really have to really learn to love and do it unconditionally without looking for anything in return. You know, that's what's going to get us through this. That's what's going to allow us to, you know, create these economic groups and these investment groups to build. You know, they say Black people can't trust each other, but just start with 3, 4, 5 people, you know, and that's what it takes, man. So, you know, this B1 at this particular time and moment, this film was again released in 2023, but I think now it's more appropriate 2 years later because of what we're experiencing. And I feel the soil is more fertile now because of what we're experiencing. You know, black people are amazing people. We just got to wake up to our power and step into it.
Well, I agree with you. I think that when you talk about love, I mean, love is the most powerful force in the universe. And I think love is something that you can build off of. And really, love, most economics is actually can be directly compared to love. Love and economics are very similar to each other in that love does require trust. And if you don't have trust, you can't really have love. So because if I'm afraid of you, if I don't trust you, if I don't believe in you, if I think you're full of it, then it's hard for me to really form a healthy relationship with you. So the same thing is true with business and building economies. If people don't trust each other, they're not going to do business with each other. They're not going to loan money to each other, things like that. And so I think self-love is a great start. And then you talk about love for your family. What do you love? What are you willing to fight for? And love is a better energy than hate anyway. I think that running around being mad at everybody and fighting against things is kind of draining and it's exhausting emotionally. And I'd rather relentlessly love, my family, love my wife, love you, love what we're doing, as a community, love our future, love our potential, love our destiny, love the vision. I have in my head, I keep a great vision of how amazing our grandchildren are going to be when in the year 2070, after they've applied some of these things that we're talking about in here. I mean, this economic thing is not rocket science, people. This is not something that is impossible to do or difficult to do. It's only hard because you're breaking old habits and you have too many distractions. But it's as simple as getting up and going to the gym for a few minutes every day, or doing 30 jumping jacks in your front yard every morning, to lose weight. It's not complex. The hard part is changing your habit, right? So with Rick in this film, I want to say thank you, Rick, for doing a great job with this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the part that I saw the whole thing, and I enjoyed the whole thing, right? I enjoyed I just beam with pride with the fact that I remember when we talked about the project, and I wanted to work with you because you're a great person to work with. Very you follow through, very easygoing. Just an honorable businessman, and I appreciate that very much. And also, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported the film. We have been talking about it for years, and then things happen. You get stuff done when we get it done, and but now we have our movie, and it's around for immortality. I hope that you'll put it on some of those platforms you talked about, Amazon and all that. I think whatever you want to do with it, I'll support that. And also, I want everybody to write down the website if you want to get his curriculum and everything else associated with the film, the soundtrack, all that good stuff. You can go to b1theexperience.com. That's the number one, b1theexperience.com. And really what this is this is our time capsule. This is us immortalizing B1 culture for future generations. So they have the blueprint. B1 means Black first. It means putting your family, your community at the top of your priority list, giving your main time to the things that matter, not your spare time, right? And whatever that means to you is up to you. But that to me should supersede any political affiliation. It should supersede whether you're liberal, conservative, male, female, young, old, educated, uneducated, rich, poor. No, none of that matters. The question is, what is your top priority? And I think our people should be our top priority. So I'm not out here to seeking to boycott other people. I'm just going to stop boycotting myself.
Yes.
And we need to stop boycotting each other. Stop boycotting our community. If we stop doing that, then I think that'll go a long, long way. And you ain't got to worry about what Target and Walmart are doing because you focus on what you're doing. So thank you very much, Rick, man. It was great to see you again, brother.
Yeah, hey, thank you, man. Again, follow me at Rick, that's R-I-C Matthysse, on all social media platforms. That's R-I-C Matthysse, that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Definitely, man. And again, thanks, Doc, for sharing your platform. This was amazing. And hopefully, the people got something out of it. Got something that, something that they can apply. Because I like to not only talk about the situation, but give you solutions, things that you can readily apply immediately after watching the film, immediately after watching this podcast here. You know what I'm saying? Now you can go back and you can say, hey, I'm going to get 3, I'm going to get 5 people and we're going to start working together. We're going to match dollar for dollar, you know, and start working together and start doing investments, start being each other's accountability partner. One thing that I'm doing now since the health experience is I'm counting my steps. So I count my steps. You know, my goal is to get at least 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps is equivalent to 5 miles. Every 2,000 steps is equal to 1 mile. So if you're doing 10,000 steps daily, then, you know, you're walking 5 miles. And that's one of the things that I believe that truly saved me, is the fact that I move and, you know, I run and things like that. I'm not just sitting stagnant. You know what I mean? So again, thank you. Thank all the people that came out and, you know, logged on to check out B1, the movie. It's an amazing film, man, and I know it's going to really affect change and affect a lot of people in the coming months, you know, with everything that's happening now in the world.
Yes, absolutely. We will win. We will win. In fact, we're already winning, and we're going to continue to win. So God bless you, everybody. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow morning for class. Make sure you're on the text list. Text the word morning to the number 87948, and we will do it tomorrow like we do every day. And God bless you, and good luck to you in everything that you're doing. And good to see you again, Rick.
Yeah, likewise.
Have a good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.